Well, good morning. It's Monday. Here it is, November the 29th. We're about to the end of November. It's the Christmas season has truly started, and I hope you're doing well. It was nice to get away for 3 or 4 days, but I feel refreshed and ready to go, and glad to be with you this morning. This morning I want to talk about keeping things in sight. Matthew chapter 14, verse 24. It says, "Meanwhile, the disciples were in trouble, far away from land, for a strong wind had risen, and they were fighting heavy waves." A while back, I heard a minister say, chaos is never the evidence of God's absence. It's the arena in which he moves. When we're, surrounded by chaos, that happens, and we think that God is maybe absent, when he really isn't. Again, here in Matthew chapter 14, we read of a time when the disciples they found themselves in the midst of chaos as they battled a storm out on the Sea of Galilee, and worse yet, Jesus was nowhere in sight. Commenting on the same story in Mark chapter 6, verse 48, it gives us this detail. It says, "He," talking about Jesus, "saw that they were in serious trouble, rowing hard and struggling against the wind and waves. About 3 o'clock in the morning, Jesus came toward them, walking on the water." Although the disciples had, they had lost sight of Jesus, he never lost sight of them. He had his eye on them. And so he came to them walking on water. Jesus, listen, will come to us in our storms as well. Jesus being God, he can do whatever he wants to do. He could have flown in this situation, but Jesus, he walked among us as a man. He walked in our shoes. He lived our life, and he died our death. And so he came to his disciples on the waves to, in order to show them that the things they feared, the wind and the sea, merely were a staircase for him to, come to them. The disciples, however, they didn't know it was Jesus who was coming toward them. Again, back to Matthew's gospel, it tells us that when they saw him walking on the water, they were terrified in their fear. They cried out, "It's a ghost," and that's in 14:26. Now here's the deal. Why didn't they know that it was Jesus? Well, it's because they weren't looking for him. See, a lot of times, we miss Jesus as well, and not because he's absent, but because we're not looking for him. Simply because we're not looking for him. Listen, you're not alone in your storm. Whatever storm you may be going through this morning, listen, Jesus, he's with you. He's watching you, not impassively, but with great interest and great concern. So much of the time we fail to look for Jesus, when we're walking through those storms of life, when we're walking through that turmoil that we call life. And so I pray that we would focus, keep our focus. And I know I talk about this a lot, but it's so important, with the world in which we're living in, that we keep our focus on Jesus. Because when we stay focused on Jesus, we're gonna see the way, and he's gonna lead the way and help us through, whatever we're going through. Anyway, hope you're encouraged here on this Monday morning. Hope you're ready to tackle this week, with your boots on. And anyway, remember, Angie and I, we love you guys, and we're praying for you. And Lord willing, we'll see you tomorrow morning. God bless you.